emotions, gameplay, video editing.
What?
Gotcha! Morning. This is my sniper of MK3, and you would have one of these as well in ages if you just follow the tutorial. It jumps. This is jumping. Yeah, I've got no airfall in that, no rudder, no helium. It's just thrusters and legs, and it jumps nicely. The problem with the tutorial is I made this before I had my coffee, so you will have to bear with a half asleep gotcha during the tutorial. But he's all right, okay. He doesn't want to be grumpy. He just didn't have coffee yet. Can I land on that? Whee! So yeah, have fun building one of those. Hi. Okay, this is how to build my sniper hopper. First of all, what you want to do is, if you don't know about the mirror line, you want to check what's your, the controls for the mirror mode and how to move the mirror mode. Because this is not symmetrical. It's a symmetrical, but it's an even numbered craft, so you have to move. Now what you want to do, very easy, you want to build the basic frame. Don't worry, we're not going to have any white blocks in the finished craft. These are just for scaffolding. And I did wrong on it. Now, you want to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You want to have a frame of 20 times 10. Separated in the middle, like this. Now the outside is 20 times 10, and you've got 2 lovely windows on the inside, both being 8 times 8. Okay, now, you want to have a black prism facing up, and one here facing down, and here that one is facing down. We'll place prisms now, and they will be alternating, that one is down, up, and down, and so on. And here the front as well. And those first prisms, if you have the first prisms right, you can't do the rest of it. So you definitely want to have this one in the corner facing up, that one in the corner facing down, that one there in the back is facing down as well. And now what we do is just every second one. Same. Every other second one, the other way around. Yay! And if you haven't got any coffee, you definitely want to do that. That would get a bit tedious. Okay, now what you want to do is on the top. If you can't use that face, you need to be able to use that one. If you can't use that face, you won't be able to use that one. Got it? Okay. Now just continue like that. And again, have them alternating here. Once more. All the way. Over here as well. And of course on the back. Oh, anyway. Comes later. I can leave the corner wide. Did I leave that corner wide? I didn't leave the corner wide. The corner has to be wide. Can leave the corner out. The middle part comes later as well. Just doing the outside frame right now. And on the bottom. Yeah, corner. Maybe. Lovely. Now, after we've placed all those prisms, it's definitely time to place some more prisms. And now we want to place them like that. And on the inside. Oh, there's an inner going to be there. No. This doesn't take forever, it just seems like it. Boring. If I was you, I'd place some music in the background. It's not. What you want to do in the corners is you. Never mind the corners. What to do here? Oh, we finally done. Have a fuck's sake. Wait, no. Yeah. Why does it have so many corners and surface? Okay, now in the corners we've got top layer, bottom layer, top layer, middle layer, bottom layer. In the middle layer you want to connect the prisms with the other prism around the corner like that. Same goes here, and there, and of course over here. Now we take some inners, and in the rear corners we take two inners, one inner there, one inner there. This side goes here, and we only need one inner there, one inner there, and of course we got a mirror there all on the bottom again. Be too easy otherwise. Like that as well. It doesn't really matter, it's just, you know, to see it. We can make the corner look a bit better as well. So we take it. That's just so beautiful. Lovely. No, we did not. I didn't. Cockpit area comes later. That is, like, this is the cockpit area. Okay, now the whole outside frame should look like, you know, done. Okay, now here it becomes a bit tricky. Well, this looks already quite changed. The white blocks used to be here. The middle white blocks used to be in this layer. So you still have white blocks here. Okay, just imagine those are white for now, because those used to be on your craft. Those are still white. You're at the bottom, and now you want to place them in this way. Just look at the picture. All you have to do is just place your black prisms on your white blocks, as seen right here. So those in the middle, you want them to split. You don't want them to touch. Those are touching in the middle. Those are split again. And those are touching in the middle. Ignore that I don't have white blocks on top right now. Just, you know, place your prisms as if you still have the white blocks on top. And then just compare this picture to what you have. They just seen from the bottom. Now we go up, take away your white blocks, and now you want to place those blocks like this. Okay, and this is of course a bit tricky again, because how do you place a block like this? Okay, so I said take away your white blocks. You should only have this bottom layer now. You don't have those. But what you can do is you can just, you know, replacing those lovely glass blocks now, just for now. Okay, now what you should see on your craft is glass blocks on the top, the prisms you just placed on the bottom, and in the middle you had the white, but you just, you know, we just take the white out now. And now we have a look from this angle. Okay. Now, we want those to be tetras, touching in the middle with the surface to the back. Those we want to have as tetras, touching in the middle with the surface to the front. Here, we place prisms facing outwards. And here, we place prisms not touching each other. So, one facing to the front, one facing to the back. Don't forget about that corner. Over there, we want them to be, what did I just say? We want them to be split. Right, well that's wrong now. What did I just say? I want them to... Right, no, those are touching. Sorry, forget about those ones. These ones are split. And those ones are touching. Ooh. Yeah, did you see that? I'll take them away again. Okay. Those in the middle. Tetras. Tetras. Touching it over. And with a connection point at the front. And one with a connection point at the back. Those are just prisms facing outward. Those are not involved. Those are right. Those were the touching ones, right? Those are touching each other in the middle. Those are facing outwards. We really should all be on the same page now. Now we take away the glass. We want those prisms to be split, because the ones below it are not split, so now these are split. We just place a whatever here, so we can have a prism like that. Take the whatever away again, and have one like that. And now for a very brief moment we turn off mirror mode. Take a lovely full 15 kg black block, place it here. Place a pilot seat next to it. Hello. That one we just leave blank. And activate mirror mode again. That's the only part that is not mirrored. Obviously, I can't have a pilot seat in the middle if I don't have a middle. That is 15 kg, that is 15 kg, and now it's balanced. Okay, I hope you got that one right. Take a picture from here, but that picture won't tell you too much. Because, you know, it's quite covered up already. Off to the next step. Ah, you missed me. Okay. Now, oopsie. Those are just temporary. Now, those prisms here are kind of obvious. Okay. Those are obvious. They just want to look smooth. That one here, we turn it around. So while this one is connected up and inwards, that one is connected down and outwards, like this. You can see it well. I mean, I can see it. Ta-da! And here we place inners. I don't like these inners. They're just too heavy. Okay. So up and in, down and out, innes. And those, hi there, awake Klaus here. These prisms are supposed to be like that. In the video, I placed them like this. That's wrong. They have to be like that. So yeah, if you have a look at the graph for the rest of the video, those prisms will be wrong. Please let the awake gotcha assure you the prisms have to be like that. Otherwise, you would lose your electric plate together. It would be kind of shitty. So yeah, they have to be connected towards the back and to the outside one. Okay, like that. They will be wrong for the rest of the video, but we, you and me, we know they have to be like that. Thank you. Okay, those are up, those are up. Tricky part. We connect them down. Now we turn them around. Like this. Okay? Actually, we do that in a second because first of all we have to take those prisms off now. Take those, turn them around. You know, we need those for thrusters later. Now that should be the cockpit area. And we can already place the electric plate. Or I could just do that later. Yeah, later is going to be great. And now we place all the functional parts from the front to the back. Okay. Now you want to count, you want to have 1, 2, 3, 4. Those 4 will be untouched. Well, that up-facing prism here will take that away. In fact, we take quite a lot of stuff away. So we only leave 1 prism row. And we take those, so we just took 6 blocks away. See, I still have the white in there. Don't worry, the white comes last. Tier 4 down clusters. And now we want to cover them up. I don't know how they are supposed to cover them up. Those. Oh no, they're like that. Yes, yes. And that one I can't. I can only. Oh, I can place it anywhere I want. In that case. 90 seconds. No. Okay. That's down facing. So that one. Having that one. Has to be like that. Yep, we connected to the back surface here. That looks like a full block. That one is normal. That one connect like that. Here I've got to be tricky again. Turn it around. And that one on the bottom. Like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 5. We turn it around. Why do we turn it around? Because we have to start placing links. There's my unknown. Further on this one, not the first one, but the second one. Take that one out. Like this, and we're gonna have a gun there. Lovely. Okay, now this one we want to turn around. That one we want to turn around. Now we place some white blocks with scaffolding, like that. That one away. Prism, prism. And now we have 2 more. Here. And another leg. Here. The gun. This is where the pilot seat is. Here's the pilot seat. Here I've got the guns on those lovely sticks. And we'll leave one out. And here on the middle row we got the leg. Okay, we take this corner. Like that. We take the tetra. It faces. Now we take white blocks again. Like that. Nice prisms. Actually, place it like that. I think it looks better. Oh, no. It doesn't. On those. Little side note, it needs to be 3 high. My stupid idiot there placed only 2 prisms. You need 3 prisms. 1, 2, 3. Cheers. I kind of fucked up that part, so I'm just giving you the fast forward version of it. So just take a look at the screenshot later. Okay? And that poor fella. Right, that's perfectly fine. Okay, and we have it. Below that other prison, I've got a prison on my leg. So, up, down, down, down. Close it up. Oh, this is definitely not the best part of the tutorial. So 1, 2, and here we go, thrusters. And we have thrusters here. And then we're gonna have some thunder thrusters. We take this one out, turn it around, place whatever on it. It's just for turning this prism around. Yeah. Okay. Thrust on that. Thrust on the inner. Now we go here to the front. We turn the other one around. Up thruster. Wait, what? The what? Oh, yeah, wait. Right, in the front there, especially. In the front of thrusters, I want to forgot. Okay, those thrusters are there. Those are here. We already placed those prisms the other way around. For that. Those are here. And here in the back they are back mounted, yep. Now we can already go in practice mode and jump around a bit. I think we can place the electric plates now as well. Well, yep. Make sure that you have your mirror line again, okay? Now we take those whites out. Those are facing towards me and down. Those are facing away from me up. Most like that. Now we're gonna have a lot of fun in those crawl spaces. So what we do is we take that one away from now. One out. All in here. Here. Just at the top. Take all those white ones. And now there will be one like this. Yeah. That is normal. You struggle with it. Remember, it's normal. We all struggle sometimes. Yep. Oh, fuck. Right, I'm almost here. Now, prisms. Prisms. That one has to be connected inwards like that. Yeah. Now we try to do it alternating as good as we can. So always one down and left, and always one right and up. So the first one, that is correct. That is my tetra on the outside. So the first prism goes in and down. Next, up and left. Now we do it alternating. That one would be touching anyway. We go like that. And now we continue as if nothing ever happened. And that one is now left and up, right and down. Left and up, right and down. Now here we see that one wouldn't connect anyway. So up and left. But now that one is now that one is up and right, I mean, that one goes bottom and left again. And so we continue. That one wouldn't connect anyway, so now up and left. After this one goes the other way around again. Now that one, not connecting to the prism to the thrust anyway, so we place it like that. Now we realise it could actually be a tetra, so we're taking a tetra. But it's not connecting to the back there anyway. That one goes like this again. I'll just close it. Now we only have a few whites in the back. Don't worry too much about it. Still have a few whites here, so cut one out. All in here. It's roughly the same. That one wants to be connected outwards. That one is stupid, or what can it do? So we do it like that. Like that again. And that one will just connect. Right, that one is this. Yep. Okay, one little thing I just saw is here in the corner you still have an inner here, and that prism is connected to that prism. That shouldn't be the case. Those prisms should be connected. That inner should be a prism, and that should all be connected inwards. And while we're at it, now that you turn those two to be facing towards the front, those three, like. The guy will now continue talking for 15 minutes about how to calibrate the shit, so turn off, okay? Emotions, gameplay, video editing, what? Gotcha! Those little details now at the end don't really have much. It behaves, no, it behaves just the way it's supposed to. Now the front should come up a tiny bit. Front comes up a bit, and now you just press shift for a split second. Okay, but these should now definitely play out. This should be a perfect replica of the original. Sure. Now I'm just first an introduction on how to jump with it, and then I'm going to show you on, just in case you made a few mistakes, or if you want to downscale it to tier 9, tier 8, if you want to make some other changes, whatever, just going to show you how to make some small changes. Okay, now first for the jumping, left and right, you should be very careful with those. No, actually not. No, you can nothing to be careful about. You can turn if you want to. You have to be careful with the shift key though. If you have a look at the craft, when you jump around, do a jump and don't use shift at all. And what will happen is your front comes up and at roughly this angle, and now you're lost. Now suddenly, you see, you're like that and there's nothing you can do anymore. If you have enough time in the air left, it will swing back. If you don't have enough time in the air left, you're fucked. So that's what you want to do, is when you jump, you want to always be horizontal, or maybe have a bit of a pitch up. And it depends on where you want to land. If you have a bit of a pitch up, and you don't want it, you just press shift very shortly, okay, very briefly. Just a short, very short burst of letting go of space. You have to let go of space to press shift. Let go of space, short shift, and that's all you want to do. Very, very short. I think you can actually hear my keystroke. So, try to hear the keystroke here. Coming, a second. Now my front does. It's no, the old one wasn't that well balanced. The new one is just very awkward, don't need shift at all. I'll just let him go. I would, if I was you, would definitely spend some time in practice mode, just jump around. You will need practice with it, and sooner or later you will have to jump when you're damaged, and then you just make short jumps, see what happens, and then you might do some funny backflips and front flips as well by accident. If you really want to land on your feet, and the more you play the craft, craft especially when it's damaged, the better you will get at jumping while being injured. Okay, so now you can jump. Remember, when your head comes up too much, when you have too much of a pitch up, let's say more than 10 or 15 degrees, it may already be too late. So try to jump around on purpose, not use shift, so your head comes up too much, you have too much pitch up, and then you will see that at some point it's a bit too late to press shift. Try to just keep it horizontal. If you want to lessen that effect, thank you, Mumi. Mumi has a version of this, and he just made it light on the back. The craft is more heavy in the back because of all the explosives in the back, because of the additional prisms here. So what he did was he made it just a tiny bit lighter in the back, and used the CPU to have bigger turn thrusters, and being a bit lighter in the back and then bouncing it out again lessened the effect of that, point of no return up pitch. Okay, but now let's have a look at how you can rough tune the machine and then how you fine tune it afterwards. Again, mirror mode. Oopsie, wrong button. There we go. Right now, those thrusters are connected outwards. Those are towards the back. Those in here towards the front, and those towards the back again. Now that is important because there actually is a difference between them connected outwards and them connected to the front. Let me just, you don't want to do that. So this is not the same as this. Now there are people who say the force is applied on the in the cube which you are connected to, so it's applied to the mounting block. That's not fully correct. For the game, your thruster is actually one block big. So when I place a thruster, when I place a block, they both have the same middle point. The middle point of this block is obviously, there, the middle. When you place a thruster, that same point I was pointing at on the yellow block is the middle of the thruster as well. So the middle of that thruster is like, what I'm aiming at right now, where the middle of the block would be. the game there's no difference. So the difference between placing it here and there is the same as saying this one gives me uplift or that one gives me uplift. There's one block difference. At the moment that you see your fronts should come up more. If you want your head to lift more, because it doesn't lift at all, for example, that would happen if you are too light in the back. If you take away too much stuff in the back, then you have a heavy head, and then your head won't come up anymore. If you have that problem, you want to turn your thrusters in a way that they're connected more in the front. So, for example, this one, instead of having it connected to the sides, connected to the front. Or those which are connected to the back right now, have connected to the sides. Those are already connected towards the front, and those are connected to the back. You could connect them to the side. That way, there would be more the front as well. I think you get the picture now. Okay, so by just turning those thrusters by 90 degrees, they are slightly more on the front or slightly more on the back. You have more lift in the back or the front. So you can play around with that and balance your craft with that. That's more like the rough balancing. It makes a huge difference. So if I just took those now, and instead of having them connected there, I place them. Oh, I can't have them. I'm going to reverse and change anyway. Okay. So now I just turned these thrusters by 90 degrees, and now we have a little bit of difference in jumping. Worked perfectly fine a second ago. Now my head doesn't come up anymore, you see? It would be impossible to jump like this. Especially if I jump against the hill. Okay, so now we try to do is horizontal ground. Just want to do a normal small jump. Not because my lift is now I have more lift in the back and my arse lift. Okay, that won't work every time. So yeah, just jumping upwards. Yeah, too much lift in the bus. But if you know, now I can just press shift. Shift, yeah, I can do a full loop. Well, that's not really what you want to happen. Of course, you can fool around with settings like that to practice jumping after you've lost the thruster. That's just not the point. Okay, so we connect them towards the pilot again. After you've done the rough calibration, you will still you may still want to have it go a bit more like this, a bit more like that. And what you have to do then is just have a look around which ones of your cubes do you want to change. Where would you have an advantage if you used, for example, an inner instead of a prism? Or where could you use a prism instead of an inner? So, like that inner here, if you replace it by a prism, it would be a tiny bit lighter, and you of course you miss out a bit on the connection there, but that wouldn't be that bad if I replaced that inner with a prism. Wouldn't be that difference. Not that big. But yeah, just making a few cubes in the very front or on the very back, using the one heavier or the one lighter version of the block actually changes a lot, and then you can do the fine tuning with that. And yeah, if you follow the steps, and if I didn't make a mistake, you should now have a working hopper, and that craft looks pretty much like the real thing. Oh, wait, when it comes to thrust, of course, I've got 4 on the bottom and 4 on the top. So that's quite balanced. If you make it in another tier or whatever, you have to see that they're basically 2 different things which come in into the pitch balance when you jump. The just jumping up without forward thrust. That is what you have to look out for. That is an important one. If you have your front thrust balance, and you see, I'm not pressing forward, and this is quite balanced. So I can just stay in the air like that. No problems here. I will go up and it will go up again in a second. It should. The higher I am, the less up thrust I get. But now that I'm low enough, it's enough again. And the forward motion just comes from the fact that I was moving a tiny bit forward at the start. Now my nose comes up slightly. I should lose forward velocity right now. And there's a roll. But yeah, you see, I let go now. You see it's quite balanced. That is the balance you get from the fine tuning when you actually, you know, have a look at the car now. If I take away that prism and place a tetra instead on the the fine tuning. That took me a while. And now, of course, there is forward jumping with front thrusters. Now, if you do forward jumps, if you do up jumps and you're perfectly balanced, and then you do forward jumps and you see that your front is coming up too much or not enough or whatever, in that case you obviously have too much thrust on the top or too much on the bottom. The thrusters on the bottom will give you an up pitch, so will get your nose up, and the thrusters on top will push your nose down. Quite easy to remember. I mean, when those are active, the craft wants to go, you know, clockwise, and when those are active, the craft wants to go a bit more counterclockwise. I think it's well, you can get that. And if you, of course, have them on the top and on the bottom, it's going to be rather balanced. The craft is the center of mass is not exactly on that plane. It's a tiny bit above that, and because of that, the thrusters on the bottom have a tiny bit more torque. So on this craft, jumping forward will get the nose up a tiny bit, just a tiny bit. You will, when you play around with all that stuff and you just take a deep breath and think about it, it all comes quite naturally. And one more thing about the legs. I mean, I want to give a piece of equipment in your hands, and I want you to be able to do the repairs when the next patch comes and whatever. One thing you want to have a look at that may help you with your other craft as well. The distance between those legs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Distance between those legs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7 would be enough. So I could move this one to the back, and I could move that one to the back. Maybe I actually want to do that. You want the distance between rear and middle to be equal or bigger compared to the distance between middle and front. Reason behind that: you are on this craft very likely to lose your front legs. After you've lost your front legs, you only have your middle and your rear legs, hind legs. And when you have only your middle and your hind legs, you want your middle legs to behave like front legs. Now, because those middle legs are in the middle of those others, actually a tiny bit to the front of that, they will behave as front legs. If I took those legs and moved them just 2 blocks to the back, they would behave as rear legs. Now, on a walker, you only feel it once you've lost a leg. On a hover, you actually feel it immediately. So if those were here, and now I lost my front legs, I would only be strafing. I would only do the sword work. The moment that they behave as middle legs, because they're far enough from the rearmost legs, they will behave as front legs, and therefore I would still be able to turn once I lose my actual front legs. I should write that down. I'll do a tutorial for that some other day. I hope you had fun. Nobody cares about the fun. I hope you have a good craft now, and have fun annihilating your enemies. emotions, gameplay, video editing.
What?
Gotcha!